Hello, hello. It's me, Lisa, the love coach, and I am here on Facebook to do a live with you today, as I do every Monday. I'm a little late to the party today, though. There's been a lot of craziness going on. Usually it's 3 o'clock on Mondays, but now it's 3:30, so I'm going to be with you for a little while, and we're going to get into some questions that people ask me all the time. I figured I'd just do these rapid fire Q&A. And if you find this, you're more than welcome to DM me with a question if you have one. You're also invited to go to my website, LoveQuestCoaching.com, where you can go and grab your free love life assessment. You could also get on my calendar and book your one-on-one session with me so we could handle whatever it is that you have going on that's keeping you stuck in your life, whether it's dating, relationships, trying to break free of a relationship that you no longer want to be in. Whatever your situation is, what you're going through, you're not alone, and there is a solution. It's just a matter of you wanting to work on getting the solution and applying the solution to your life. So that being said, I'm going to jump on this and get into the content with questions that people ask me often and what my answers are, right? So let's get into it. One question, Lisa, if I live in a rural place and I lived in a place, rural, country, for years and years, and now the person gets divorced and they're contemplating moving, but they don't know if they should move. So I'm like, well, if you have like legal issues keeping you there, meaning you can't just like up and leave. A lot of times people who get divorced, they just can't leave, right? They have children and then the parent wants to be in the same state. So there's, issues. But if a person is unencumbered and they feel that where they're living isn't exciting enough for them or that it's satisfying them enough, then yes, move. 100% move. 1000% move. I moved more than once. Best thing, right? Like it's such a part of your growth when you can like decide if a place isn't for you anymore and leave that place. There's power in that. You have to live where you feel good, right? And there might be a version of you who did very well where you lived and thrived. And then you reach the point where you're like, okay, I'm a little bit different now. I feel like I want something different for my life. And maybe I want to move. So get skipping. Get to moving. Get to moving, honey. Love you too, Gordon. Haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you. Right? So that's one. So I'm always in favor of if you can swing it and it can be done without any like drama and legal consequence, you can move. You don't have, cement shoes. You don't have roots to your feet. You could always move back if you hate it, right? So stop living like, your town is it in the world and that's it. Okay, so that was one question. Another question, should I leave them or should I stop Better question, this one's common. Should I stop dating someone if they are inconsistent in their communication? This is so common. I get this all the time. So what you do is this. You mention it to them because they might not be aware of your communication style. So you just mention it to them. Say, hey, listen, I notice that when I text you, it takes you a while for you to get back to me. So I was just wondering if there's something about that. Like maybe you work in a kind of place where they don't allow, texting. They don't allow any of that. Your phone is away. You're focused on work. Whatever the thing is, I wanted to just ask you what that was about so I can be respectful of your time, right? Because my preferred mode of communication is text, right? Or if it's not, phone call, or if it's a combination of both, be clear about what your preferred mode of communication is. Now, if you're one of these people that you need the constant dopamine hit of somebody that you're dating being in touch with you throughout the day consistently, and you have yet to handle your anxious attachment issues, we need to connect on that. because that is going to impact how you are able to date. You can't be needy with the communication. Like, what is going on with you where you need this constant hour after hour, a little check-in here, a little check-in there during the day? Like, date like it's the fucking 90s again, where nobody had phones and you talk to each other like at night for like a half hour. And you lived your life and you had your day. And when you were dating someone, you didn't have this hyper anxiety that if you're not in touch with them smack in front of their face all the time in some way, that you're afraid that they're going to forget about you and move on to someone else. First of all, let's explore that fear. Because if that's the fear you have, and that's the root of most anxious attachment, people who are literally afraid of abandonment is what that is. So you're anxious that if you don't have a text message throughout the day with this person, that they're going to forget you and find somebody else. Who cares? Who cares? You have to learn how to not give a shit. If somebody doesn't want to be with you, then you automatically don't want to be with them. Right? So stop being so attached to the outcome of being in a relationship. That's the exact energy that repels people. That's the exact energy. I tell people all the time, I'm like, listen, the reason why you're struggling to attract people is because you're needy and clingy and desperate, and it's kind of pathetic and you need to handle it. Like, what is the root of that? Who is running the show? You or a wounded 14-year-old version of you? You or a wounded 8-year-old version of you? Gotta do the inner child work, because that is where you're gonna get to the valid reason for why you show up in relationships the way you show up as an adult. So when you're doing things in relationships and you're just like, why the hell am I doing this? Like, why do I react to things this way? Why am I like this? Why am I like that? And you're questioning, that is the biggest opportunity for you to explore that, the origins of that. Because trust me when I tell you, there is a valid reason for why you show up as you show up in your relationships and in your life overall. But I'm a dating and relationship coach, so I focus on that. But I will tell you that do not throw shade on yourself, right? Instead, use it as an opportunity to investigate. Why? I noticed this about myself. Why do I do that? What, right? Like, those are the questions that start to help you to expand and grow and heal, finally. Because there are a lot of like wounded ass people out there looking for other people who, hello, are also wounded, to soothe them. Instead of learning how to soothe yourself, learning how to heal yourself. So I had to go through all of this myself. I'm not saying this just, to be on a chair of might. I've gotten my ass handed to me through my life, and I had to rebuild myself from these exact things: anxious attachment, codependency, serious, major control issues, right? All rooted in the same place, right? Inner child stuff that I had to work out. Meanings that I created in my mind as a little kid, because this is what happens, right? Little kids create meaning of their environment and the people in it. They connect little dots and they make up stories in their mind and assign meaning to things that the grown-ups around them are doing, how they're being, and what it means to them, what it says about them. Something so stupid and simple. It's ridiculous, but powerful because it explains how kids think. So if you were a little kid, because little kids are very literal, and you were a little kid and somebody that was a grown-up always told you to be good with a tone that was very warning, right? Be good. Be good. You would think, as a little kid, why is everybody telling me to be good? Am I not good? Like, I don't do anything wrong, but everybody tells me to be good. Why does my grandmother always say, be good? Like, does she not think I'm good? Am I not good? Is there something wrong with me? And then it goes into that thinking of, I'm not enough. That's the root of it, right? Be good. Oh, also, training the kid to be a people pleaser, which is also that whole thing of, if you were raised with be good, you're going to raise a people pleaser. Someone who's super hyper vigilant about approval, Does this person approve of me? Do they approve of me? I can't say that because that'll piss that person off. I can't say this. Or because you're so bottled up, like when you finally do throw down the hammer, it's like an apocalyptic explosion. You take and take and take and take, and then it's wah. Explosion. Explosion. So these are the things that people are asking me about. I figured I'd jump on today, do a quick live about these things, because these are the things that I help people to resolve in themselves. And it always shows up in relationships. Relationships with your children, your family, your significant other, when you're dating, if you're single, right? It's always going to show up. So it's a matter of you determining on a scale of 1 to 10, how great are things working for you? And why not do something about that? Because you can't be lazy with yourself. You can't be avoidant to yourself, because that wounded inner child, you're doing the exact same thing that was done to them the whole time of their life. So they're sitting here looking at you like, okay, I'm waiting for you to take the lead. I'm waiting for you to be the grown-up. And then you have grown-ups behaving like children. So this brings me to the next question. Are you a red flag collector? Collector of red flags. What do I mean by this? People who go on dates and they see red flags, and instead of politely excusing yourself from that person, meaning deciding after that date it's not for you, no, I'm going to give them another chance. You saw 2 red flags on the date, but yet you want to give them another chance. Because no one's perfect. Because nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect, so, right? No. This is you being in a state of scarcity. The real underlying thing is, what if I don't get anybody else to take me on a date? This is the first date I've had in 3 months. What if I'm too rigid? What if my standards are too high? What if idiots dating them, giving them chances? Why? Here to empower you to stop being a red flag collector. You don't see, oh look, red flag. Let me take that and fold it up and put it in a box. Oh look, another one. Red flag. Oh look, I caught him on his phone and he looked startled when I looked over at him. Oh, red flag. Okay, let me take that, put it away. Before you know it, you have enough red flag to create a red dress for yourself. So don't be a red flag collector. Red flags are there as warnings for you to spot them and move on. Which leads to the next question. Well, Lisa, how do I break up with somebody? How do I break up with somebody? I don't want to let them down. I don't want to disappoint people. People pleaser, people pleaser, people pleaser. Number 1, handle your people pleasing. Get to the root of what that's about. Right? Because you can't advocate for yourself if you're too busy trying to people please. Right? And people pleasing is a form of codependency. It's like you want people, you need people, regardless of who. So you're going to forsake your own truth and your own advocacy to please them. So stop doing that. How do you stop doing that? Well, for one thing, you start by booking your session with me and getting to the root of why you are people pleasing in the first place. That's the point of it. That's the entire thing, is getting to the original, real, deep root for why we do what we do. So that I can't do in a live. That I can't do in a newsletter. That I cannot do in a video for free. I have to talk with you, sit with you, ask you the right questions, listen for the right stuff, for what you're saying to me, and then be able to guide you from there. But I assure you that you will have that answer, because you can't fix what you can't see. So if you know that you have a thing that you do and it leads to the same patterns over and over again, right? The same patterns. Oh, look at me. Here I am taking back this asshole again for the 4th time in 3 years, right? Like these patterns, they have a legitimate, valid origin. There are valid reasons for why you are operating the way you are operating. And my job, what I do, is help people to get to the root of what that is so they can finally see it and then they can heal it. And I can help them with that as well. So step 1 is identifying the origin of the thing that you do. There's a valid reason for why you show up as you do in relationships. The reason why you're red flag collecting, people pleasing. going on dates with people, letting them have chance after chance after chance to show you that they're an asshole. And then you give them more chances. Right? I talk to people about this stuff all the time, and they light up when they finally understand the reason for why they do the things they do. It's like this window with gunk on it was cleaned, like full blown with squeegee, and now they look out the window like, oh my God, I can see everything so clearly. Right? Because this is the thing. You're dating and operating in relationships with gunk. Can't see it because you don't know why you do what you do. And furthermore, for the people who do know why they do what they do, maybe you've gone to therapy, maybe you've done a lot of inner work, you're still doing it. So that means that there is a disconnect between the knowledge and the integration, the action. So you might know it here, but you have yet to internalize it in here. And so your behaviors and your actions aren't in alignment with what you know. So wisdom only happens when you take actions in alignment with what it is you know. You conceptually know it, understand it. But if your actions are still the same old shit, that means you only know it in concept. You know it like you know it for a test, right? So back in school, 2 different types of knowing. There's knowing that you just memorize a bunch of shit for a test, pass the test and it leaves your brain and that's it. And then there's knowing stuff so that like you apply it to your life on the daily and you could be like, yeah, I totally like this is a skill that I use. And this is something that I actually use in my life. So another question that often comes with the same place is the breakup question, right? So let's go back to that. When people say to me, well, how do you have that conversation? How do you even bring it up, right? These are people that are like dysregulated, right? They don't know how to have a conversation and pick beef, right? They don't know how to advocate for themselves and sit someone down that they're dating and being like, hey, listen, very succinctly, or text them or call them. It depends on, how long you've been seeing these people for, right? A lot of people think every single breakup warrants this like deep involved conversation in person. No, it doesn't. You dated somebody, let's say 5 or 6 times, you send them a text. Very simple. You send them a text and you say to them, so I've been giving my life a lot of consideration and I have decided that I'm not going to proceed with seeing you anymore. I wish you all the best. That's it. I reached a decision about my life. I've been giving my life a lot of consideration and the direction that I'm taking it into. And I've decided not to proceed in seeing you anymore. I wish you all the best. Like, why is that so difficult? Why is that so difficult? Oh, because it's cryptic. It's not, you don't owe this person an explanation of shit. You've arrived at a place where you know they're not it for you, period. You don't have to list out the 27 things that they did wrong so that then they can negotiate with you. Well, why don't you give me a chance? If you tell me what I did wrong, then maybe I can fix it. Maybe I can work on it. And then you end up in this fucking relationship, this toxic trauma bond of shit. No. When you see a red flag and you see what the hell is up, this is behavior. This is a person's like realness. You want to see them in their realness. You want to catch them in the raw. You want to be like, oh, okay, I see. So far, we went out on 2 dates and you've gotten drunk on both of them. Got it. No need to go out with you anymore. Learn how to connect dots. There is no conversation. This is a pattern. This is the way this person operates. Oh, but maybe he was just nervous because you're so fucking wonderful and fantastic that this guy, oh my God, he's going out with you. He's a 40-something, 50-something year old person who's been out on dates before. But with you, he needs to drink half the bottle of tequila, half the bottle of bourbon, half the bottle of rum, whatever the situation is, because it's you. Get over yourself. The guy is a drunk. It's a red flag. If you need booze on a date to excess in order to soothe your nerves, we need to connect. We need to connect. You don't know how to regulate your nervous system. Point blank. I'm going to tell you straight up, you go on a date, two drinks, that's it. If any. 2. Maximum. That's it. And no, I mean, look, you know yourself, you know what it takes you to get liquored up and boozy. Don't get liquored up and boozy on dates. And learn that that is a massive red flag. Massive. You have to see, if you're a lady and you're on a date with a gentleman, that gentleman, like, you're the last person, he's the last person that you were with. So he's responsible for you in a way. He should want to be. Right? If anything was to happen to you, who are they going to come looking for? Him. Oh. And now he's sloshed, total loser, drunk loser, no discipline, zero, no self-discipline whatsoever. And that's what it says. That's what it communicates. People boozy on dates. This person's a hot mess. They have no self-discipline. So why do you expect people to date you, to want to be like, oh yes, you're the one? Because I'm sorry, there are people out there who have no self-discipline whatsoever, and they deserve to be single. And they don't have any desire to change what the hell's going on in them. They have no desire to change. So for the people that I work with the people who are open and committed, not just open, committed fully. They have the self-awareness to see that what they are doing, there's something fundamentally up. Something is amiss. And they are committed to getting to the root of what that is about, so that they then can heal it once and for all. That's the magic of the people I work with. They are badasses. They're not victims. They're not blamey. They're not like, well, my parents split up when I was 4 and I had a boyfriend in high school and he cheated on me. And then my boyfriend in college cheated on me. And then every other boyfriend I had cheated on me. Really? And you've done nothing about this your whole life. You're 45 fucking years old and you haven't done shit about the fact that you have no boundaries whatsoever. You let people walk all over you. You have shit discernment when it comes to choosing men, and you give chances to idiots over and over and over again. You've done nothing about this in all the years of your life. Okay, so that's no problem. You've arrived here. So what are you going to do? Same thing? Or are you going to actually do something to stop this behavior so that you can then have the things in life that you want to have? The love, the relationship, the future, the lifestyle, the whole thing. So it starts with you. It's not about, oh, women suck, they're crazy. Women suck, they're crazy, they're all crazy. Really? Well, you're attracting crazy women. So what does that say about you? Don't you want to know why that is? Aren't you the least bit curious to say, oh, you know what? I have this pattern where I attract crazy women. They're like hot mess expresses. Every time they seem good in their pictures, or I meet them and they seem okay. And then by the third date, they go off the batshit mobile, right? So instead of saying all women are this, all women are that, look at yourself and say, what is it in me that attracts these batshit crazy women? Because that you have something to control, right? That you have something you're in control of. You could do that inner work and you could be like, oh, holy shit, one session with Lisa and she zoned me right in to the fact that I was the only boy in a house full of women, 4 sisters and me and my psychopath mother. Wonderful. So I was raised to people please women. And my sisters were one hot mess express after the next because they didn't have dad in the house. So I had to be dad, but I was too young. So I was just shut up baby brother and get kicked to the side. And I had to prove to get into the good graces of my sisters to cater to them. Ah, you see how that is? So now you're a 54-year-old man hooking up with psychopath women. Why? Because your little wounded inner 8-year-old is saying, oh, look, psychopath women reminds me of my house when I was a kid. This feels normal to me. This feels safe. I can operate in a house full of crazy. Yeah, look, there's my older sister and my other older sister and my other older sister and my other older sister, and I'm the baby boy of all of them. And they just ignore me and they tell me to go get them things. This is my job, to dote on these psycho women who are always screaming. They're erratic. They're fighting with each other. I wish there was a guy around that really could understand me. Oh, but my dad left. Maybe that's my fault. You see how it works? This is the whole thing. Inner child work is powerful. It's the most powerful and effective way, quick, efficient, way to get to the root of your shit. The shit that is holding you back in your life. I did it myself, right? Again, everything I speak on my lives, it's because I've done it myself. And now I teach other people, right? Just like a teacher's assistant, right? In college, you had the professor, and the professor had teacher's assistants who already took the course and aced it. And then they meet with you on a study group and they say, okay, you're ready? I'm going to tell you the 10 things you need to know about this and what's going to be on the test. And they help you. Here, you need to know this. You need to know this. No, don't even deal with pages 20 to 25. That's a bunch of bullshit fluff. You need to study up on this page, that page, and the other. The end. You can do this. You're going to get an A on this test. And that's what I do. I tell you exactly the steps on how I even demonstrate it for you in your session with me. How do you connect with that wounded inner kid? How do you clear your mind? How do you do it? How do you actually do it? So that's what I teach. And it's amazing how fast the results start pouring in for you. Because it's like people have said to me, holy shit, I talked with you for 90 minutes and I've gotten more out of you in 90 minutes than 5 therapy. I went to therapy too. Therapy is about diagnosis. Therapy does wonderfully in helping you to understand what happened to you and what brought you to here. Meaning the things from the past, right? Therapy is all about the diagnosis. It's all about oh, you have this, you have that, you have the other. Like my therapist, she's like, yeah, you're not depressed. You don't have any of that shit. You're not any of that. What you are is codependent. And its origins, right? The importance of that word, the origins of it was childhood. A lot of adults around you. And who are you lying for? Right? Don't tell your mother this. Don't tell adults. Hiding shit from other adults and involving you in that. That's gonna fuck up a kid 100%. It's gonna make them think, I have to please everybody, or there's right, there's wrong, but the adults around me are not right, and if I call them out on their shit, then I'm the bad guy, right? I'm too little. If I don't please these people, I can die. This is what you think when you're a kid, unless you're like me, of course. Once I hit 11, I was throwing fuck off bombs to everyone in my family at the time. At that time, I was like, you know what? I don't give a shit. I'm saying what I'm saying, and that's it. And there was remnants of that, still the people-pleasing thing, but it was a little bit, it was already in me, right? So what happens to you from infant to 12 years old is already neural pathways are formed. So you have to spend all this time, and this is the work that I do, is help people to shift these pathways, to shift them completely and permanently, right? So therapy is amazing. And once, though, you've had all your therapy and you've talked about everything that has happened, 27 different directions, it's time to get into action. It's time to apply what you've learned in therapy to your actual day-to-day life. And this takes form in new agreements, right? I have this conversation with clients all the time. Now that you know this from therapy, what new agreements can you make moving forward with yourself? What new agreements can you make for yourself moving forward? What will you no longer do effective today? Because therapy is amazing for helping you gain understanding. Coaching is for action. Coaching is you take the understanding that you have and you put it in play in your life. And that's where change actually can happen. So my calendar is available at LoveQuestCoaching.com. You want to jump on my schedule. Things that you have going on that you're stuck. You see the same patterns over and over again. There's a valid reason for why those patterns exist. Maybe this live popping in your feed is your call. Your sign, right? To take action and understand, why do I do what I do? I know this isn't getting me the result that I want in my life, but yet I keep doing these things. I want to know why that is, right? So understanding, okay, I went to therapy for 5 years. I know exactly why I am the way I am. Great. Now, are you ready to apply that knowledge to changing your life? Because otherwise it's just knowledge. It's like the books behind me, right? You read a book and the book goes back on the shelf. But it's not until I say, wow, now that I know this about this, wow, I'm going to do this different in my life now. No longer am I going to do this, this, and this. I'm going to do this, this, and this instead. Oh my God, it's a whole new world. Thank you, book, for $20. I just have a whole new way of living now. It's about application. It's about taking information, which is what's great about therapy. It gives you a ton of information about you, but then it's about application. That's the piece that people miss. And they'll stay in therapy for years and years and years and years, wondering, why isn't it working? Why I've gone to therapy. I've done the work. No, you have not. That's the other thing. That's the other question. Lisa, I've done so much work, yet I still see the same patterns coming up over and over and over. What's up with that? Well, you're ready for the next step in your personal development. It's not about I did the work and it's over. It's never ending. You're always growing and evolving. So the work that you do has to be aligned with the growth, right? If I'm not reading the same books I read 7 years ago, because I already have that information. I applied it to my life and it brought me to another level. So now I'm on the level up. Okay. What books do I need here? What coaches do I need here? What mastermind groups am I investing in now that I've arrived to here? It's the same. So it never ends. It's not this thing of like you could, order healing in a jar in Amazon.com and it comes to your Amazon Prime to your doorstep in a day. And you pop it like a pill and then, oh, look, I have self-love. How amazing. Just like that. It doesn't work like that. So this is your call. This is your time to take some fucking action in your life. Enough of the bullshit. Enough. Like you will take action when your unknown future is more appealing to you than your shitty present. That's when you take action. That's typically when people take action. Lord knows that's when I took action. When I was like, I don't know what the hell the future holds for me, but it's seeming a lot more appealing than this bullshit. That's when I said, okay, I'm going to invest money in myself. I'm going to figure it out. I have credit cards. I'm just going to put myself first. My personal development first, my sanity, my emotional well-being, all of this shit matters, right? All of this matters. If you weren't out in your car and 2 flat tires, bam, blew out of your car, would you hesitate to call AAA or tow truck, get your ass to some tire store and like instantly buy 2 tires and have them put on immediately? You wouldn't even think. You'd have your credit card out and you'd be like, all right, yes, fine. 2 Pirelli tires, lovely. Yeah, fine. Oh, $700 with everything. Wonderful. You wouldn't even hesitate. Oh, and the tow truck was how much? Okay, yeah, just put it on this. Why not do the same for yourself when you are in total chaos in your life or just not good, not great? All erratic, all in your head, all nervous, all anxious energy, all anxiety, all this shit. You don't feel right. And you've gotten so used to not feeling right that that's your new normal. It's time to invest in yourself. It's time. You are in the emergency state right now, right? In your life, you're that car with the 2 blown off tires. If that's how you're operating in your life, you need to take action. Just as you would paying for the tires, you need to get out your credit card and you need to start putting some big money on you. You're worthy of it. You're worthy of it. I remember the first time I invested significantly into my personal development. It was $1,500 for a 1 weekend seminar workshop, right? $1,500. Didn't have a job at the time, had no fucking idea. But you know what? I was like, no fucking job. Okay, fine. I always have money. Money always finds me. I'll get some freelance things to do. I'll figure it out. I always do. And this is important. And perhaps something that I learn in this weekend will lead me to my next opportunity. And lo and behold, it did. It's a mindset shift that has to happen. You have to start looking out for yourself. And that tiny little step in self-love, that tiny little step of saying, okay, I'm going to sign up for this thing. I'm going to full on go with the openness to learn something. And I know there's something for me there, so I'm just going to go. And what happened in that weekend? The title and concept of my company LoveQuest coaching. That was born on that weekend. $1,500 changed my entire trajectory of my life. That was the beginning of LoveQuest coaching, my company. 2015. Didn't know what I was going to do. Knew I was fed up with the corporate bullshit. Knew I didn't want to work in some corporate fucking bullshit environment. People telling me when to leave, when to come, what to do. Fuck that. I was over it. But I had gifts and talents and knowledge, and I knew I had things to offer. Obviously, I was still here. So I was guided to the right tool. Maybe perhaps this is yours, me in your feed, telling you straight up, your time is now to take action and invest in yourself. So I have a bunch of free stuff too, right? So you can go over to LoveQuestCoaching.com and check that out. There's a blog section. I just put several things up on my website for free. One of them, it's 40 books to help you heal and grow. So you can go over to LoveQuestCoaching.com and you can get the list, my book recommendation list, nerd ass me, books everywhere. My list of books, 40 of them, I believe. Yeah, to help you heal and grow. So there's that. And all of the links to the books are provided. So you don't have to go hunting for them. They're right there. That's one. The other thing I added too was 120 journal prompts. So it's a 120-day journey. You go one question a day. And these questions are all designed to help you build confidence. So it's like a confidence challenge, 120 days. Now you can do it shorter. You can answer more than one question a day. Fine. You can do it however way you want. But the idea is to stick with it, to show yourself that you can stick to something that you commit to, right? That builds confidence in itself. And then the questions are designed to move you forward towards building more confidence in yourself. So that also is over at LoveQuestCoaching.com in the blog section. You can find all of my stuff there. Plenty of resources for you there. So that's pretty much it. I hope this message helped you so much. Again, I'm Lisa, the Love Coach, Lisa Concepcion, certified professional life coach, focusing specifically on dating and relationships. And I can be found over at LoveQuestCoaching.com. So head on over there. Oh, and yeah, everybody who gets on this and you find this, you can also go to LoveQuestCoaching.com and get your free love life assessment. That's a full assessment. It's not done robotically or with AI or anything. It's actually me. You're going to fill out a form. I'm going to read your form and I'm going to get back in touch with you via email with a detailed report. So that's your love life assessment. All of this and so much more at LoveQuestCoaching.com. All right, I'm out. Until next Monday. If you have any question, anything that you want me to cover, feel free to hit me on the DM and I will talk to you then. All right, bye.